Hai teman-teman, jumpa lagi bersama saya Didi Caksono di atas Gudang. Masih dalam game Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1. Dan kali ini misteri baru dari fans berat kita, Vogel. Kali ini kita diundang ke sebuah pesta di sebuah mansion mewah. Setiap tamu undangan menggunakan topeng dan jubah untuk menyamar. Ada banyak hidangan, termasuk host dan hostess yang setia menemani sampai Oke. Namun bukan Vogel namanya kalau kita tidak sampai di sebuah tempat pembunuhan. Mari kita ungkap. Dan seperti biasa teman-teman, someone is dead. Dan dia adalah Fabio.
My God, was he here this whole time?
Oke, ini dia apa yang terjadi. Kalau kalian mengunci seseorang di dalam ruangan penuh dengan pemandian. That's nice actually, rekreasi. Mari kita cek sebentar apa yang bisa kita lihat dari sebelah. Kita akan mengecek ininya terakhir, badannya dia terakhir. Yang pertama ini adalah incense.
The herbs here are Salvia divinorum. They have a slight hallucinogenic effect to emphasize the ceremony.
Oke, jadi sepertinya dupanya itu sedikit halusigenik, membuat halusinasi, tapi tidak terlalu parah seharusnya.
Box must be for the ritual dagger.
Oke, ini untuk ritual dagger yang ada di dadanya. Dan what's this?
This oil has a slight aroma of flowers and olive.
Oke, yang ini flower sama olive. Yang satu lagi.
The ointment smells mouse-like. I presume it is an aphrodisiac prepared from a Spanish fly.
Aphrodisiac dari lalat Spanyol. What?
This one looks like a twisted symbol of Venus drawn in a hurry.
Ada lagi, yang ini adalah
The sign reminds me of the astrological symbol for Mars.
Ini adalah nothing. Oh, ini hanya papan, bukan batu beneran. Mari kita cek. Oke, ternyata dia dipukul dulu.
A blunt force trauma may have suffered an internal hemorrhage.
Pendarahan dalam sebuah kupu-kupu. Oh.
This crude tattoo partially covers a slave branding.
Oh, oke. Jadi tatonya dia tuh menyembunyikan bekas ini ya, bekas apa? Brand budak, tanda budak. Oke. Waduh, dicopot lagi.
This golden handle has a blood stain on it. The dagger is heavy and sharp but lacks balance.
Oke, mari kita ambil. Itu kenapa itu?
This worm-like sigil has been drawn with his own blood.
Waduh. Ini seperti Naruto aja di pusarnya dia. Apalagi nih? Ada 6 harusnya. Apa yang
The
dipegang?
victim has clenched the fabric so firmly in his fist that it's nigh impossible to remove it.
Oke, jadi dia memegang selimutnya dengan kencang. Kakinya kenapa nih? Kenapa kakinya bengkok sebelah? No? Ini bekas lukanya.
The wound is deep. A precise strike reached the heart. He died right here.
Jadi dia benar-benar matinya di sini. What? Si Vogel. Dan dia sambil enak-enaknya minum. Masih ada lagi nggak ya sebelah sini? Oh, ada sesuatu kah? Oke.
Enough cigars to burn down the entire mansion.
Banyak sigar. Apa ini?
Why don't people tidy up after themselves?
Oh, ini cuman buat perapian. Tidak ada apa-apa. Sini juga nggak ada. Apa ini? Oh, bekas darah.
An open wound spoiled the carpet.
Ini kenapa dia di sini? Sanyovis.
Blood. A sturdy bottle met a not so sturdy human.
Oh,
It didn't
oke.
break only because it was unopened.
Jadi dia dipakai untuk memukul orang itu. Mungkin orangnya dipukul pakai itu dulu, terus kemudian ditaruh di altar dan ditusuk mungkin. Aduh, that's crazy. Dracula. Oke, nggak ada apa-apa lagi ke sini.
What about a quick pillow fight?
Oh, ada. Nah, tapi sebelum situ kita ngobrol dulu sih.
Werner, care to explain what is going on here?
On nights like these, it's not unusual for some attendees to get a little exuberant. It's part of the appeal. Unfortunately, it appears things have gotten out of hand. Yes, some are more prone to bend the rules of morality.
That's murder. I doubt there's anything left to bend. Why did you not tell me immediately? We were chatting about trivial matters for some time.
If I'm completely honest, Sherlock, I've consumed a rather potent cocktail of substances. My attention slips and drifts. But I'm glad I thought to call for you.
You sent me a disguise.
Oh dear, did I? Well, since I found the body, Mr. Manchios has agreed that you can investigate the matter. I promise my mind will behave itself going forward.
All right. Pull yourself together, Werner.
Mabok. Oke, gue lift dulu.
Let me see what I can do about all this.
Kita investigasi dulu semuanya. Oke, ada sebuah altar di sini. Oh, bukan.
The pitcher is empty, but with puddles around it.
Oke. Sedikit genangan. Oh,
Blood
ada bekas
clots are
darah.
adhered to the sides of the drain.
Berarti bekas darahnya semua dikeluarkan di sini. Mungkin berusaha untuk meninggalkan barang bukti. Oh, ini adalah bekas baju.
Identical to the robes the guests are wearing. Props, decorations, and tools for a more detailed set.
Sebuah buku.
This is a different ritual.
Ada ritual. Naked woman lies on the altar on a bed of flowers. Mother Gaia may come to engage in sexual congress with her. Waduh. Ya, itu ritual seks ya, teman-teman. Bacanya adalah Matista, don't stop boring them. Manchios. Oh, jadi Manchiosnya ini komplain kepada Matista karena menghiraukan tidak menghiraukan tamu-tamunya.
How can anyone accept such behaviour?
A useful tool for a disguise arsenal.
Oh, ini untuk menyamar. Dan ini adalah For My Fabio.
Handcrafted and luxurious cufflinks. There's also a note. For My Fabio. Manchos.
Interesting. Kunci apa ini?
The key
F.
is similar to the one that Vogel gave me. The capital F on the key fob might refer to Fabio.
Jadi ini adalah kunci milik Fabio. Jadi ini mejanya Fabio, sebelahnya mejanya Matista. Siapa Matista itu? Dan ini adalah topengnya dia.
Would you recognise me in one of these? I suppose not.
Bekas darah. Wah, ini dia.
Similar to the guests' robes, apart from the bloodstains.
Ada lagi nggak di sini yang belum? Twing, no, nothing. Sepertinya tidak ada. Ting, oke. Nggak ada lagi ya. Airnya udah berhenti. Oh, airnya muncul lagi. Itu sudah semuanya. Mars dan Venus. Berarti nggak ada lagi di sini. Mau kita cek. Kosong ya. Cek lagi sekali. Oke, sepertinya sudah beres. Oke, mari kita interogasi si Vogel. About night like
What
this.
is it about these nights that you were so eager to share with me?
Well, they're not always in the evenings, but they are in the shadows. People gather to test their boundaries in a safe and consensual atmosphere, often with more stains than your typical crime scene. But that is the point. Who are we to judge?
I suppose that's fair. What about today, then? Was anything different?
Well, I was invited as a special guest. It was supposed to be a time of both divine and carnal pleasures. A scratch for every unconventional itch.
I imagine you're reeling from your shattered expectations.
On the contrary, there is still spectacle, stimulation, and release, merely in a different form. I like to let life entertain me.
Or death.
Iya, ya malam-malam seperti ini yang muncul adalah kematian. Who is Mr. Manchios?
Mr. Manchios is the owner of the manor, yes?
And the host of Cordona's most memorable parties. He promises even the ugliest guest a partner for the night. And for the ones with more unconventional tastes, Mr. Manchios provides other services.
What a caring person.
You cannot begin to imagine.
Gitu makanya. This taste is giving you the taste. Jadi gara-gara punya selera yang eksentrik semacam ini, kejadian seperti ini pun bisa terjadi. How did you find the body?
How did you discover the body? In between guzzles of alcohol?
I was set to perform in a fecundity rite with Fabio and came to inquire further. It was a staged ritual where he was to play the principle of life.
And the rehearsal was unsuccessful?
Who knows? I found him alone on the altar, his blood dripping to the floor.
And then?
Then I called Mr. Manchios. He was panicking, so I told him about you. We left the room and locked the door. Then we were
filling time.
Waiting for you was stressful. We indulged in some simple comforts. Overindulged, perhaps.
Jadi habis itu mabok-mabokan dia untuk melupakan semua ini.
Were you well acquainted with Fabio, the victim?
Everyone knew Fabio, or wanted to. His beauty was the talk of the island. Too handsome to go unnoticed. He was magnetic. Fat wallets fought for the privilege of having him. He offered the pleasures of performance, and more.
Okay.
What about the fertility ritual? There was something about Fabio being a principle of life.
Fabio was supposed to portray the beauty of life's origin. Flowers, oil. Not this travesty that seems straight out the Inquisition.
So this ritual is not the fertility rite. What was it meant to look like?
It begins with a woman lying naked in a flower bed on the altar. She represents Gaia, the earth. As I cover her in oils, we chant for the principle. As our calls reach a climax, Fabio enters and copulates with her. After he finishes, I stab her with a dagger. That part's just pretend, of course.
But the intercourse is not?
I did not expect you to be such a prude. Are you a virgin? It is nothing to be ashamed of, but it would explain the color of your cheeks. The fertility rite marks the start of our festivities. The principle of life is beautiful, intimate, essential. It must not be stopped.
Yet it appears that someone did stop it. What about the naked woman? Can you tell me anything about her?
Oh, yes, Matista. She's one of Fabio's compatriots and a performer too. I haven't seen her today, actually.
Interesting.
When you discovered the body, was the door open?
No, it was locked. Oh, that reminds me. It's a minor detail, but the first time I came to speak to Fabio, I left without entering, having been unable to open the door.
You didn't have the key?
No, I had it. Don't look at me like that. I was mostly sober. I suspect there was a key in the other side of the door, blocking the lock.
That detail may very well be major, Werner. Well done. So you returned later only to find the lock was not blocked?
Correct. After an hour had passed, I tried again and was able to unlock the door.
Oh,
That's when I discovered poor, handsome Fabio.
oke. Jadi ketika di awal dia pengen si Vogel pengen masuk ke ruangan ini, nggak bisa karena kuncinya itu masih ada di pintu. Tapi kemudian dia pergi, kemudian dia balik lagi, kemudian dia baru bisa membukanya. Itu artinya si pelakunya itu masih ada di ruangan ini untuk dalam jangka waktu tersebut.
The police remain unaware of this tragic event?
Some of them may be hiding behind their masks. They conceal many things. But we didn't want the authorities to create more problems. Besides, after a few cocktails, their incompetence will have soared to new heights.
How do you know I even want the case?
I promised you relaxation. If there's one thing I know about you, Sherlock, it's that nothing soothes you more than a good mystery.
Tuh pakai dia dikasih misteri ini. Alright. Mari kita lihat di casebook sejenak. Banyak banget man. Smoking lounge. Ada sesuatu di smoking lounge ini yang perlu kita deteksi teman-teman. Ya itu dia. What's this?
A person leaned against the doorframe. They left a smudged trail of blood.
Ada lagi? Ada banyak.
A bloody handprint on an armchair. The wounded person was here for some time. There appear to be no further traces leading to the altar.
So, Sherry, do you have any ideas about the case?
Perhaps. I think I can deduce what happened here.
Oke. Mari kita mulai merekonstruksi kejadian. Pertama-tama kita akan cek dulu semua clue yang ada. I found some blood drops and handprint on the door frame. Okay, the door was locked the first time after an hour. Baru kebuka. Matista di sini. Ada old wardrobe, gifted cufflinks, dressing room, ritual scenario. Jadi senarionya adalah yang tadi seperti dibilang Vogel. Mancio's note. Victim description. A left fist of the victim was clutching fabric. Fabio met his death here. Jadi sepertinya Fabio dipukul dulu baru kemudian ditusuk. Spear to cover his slave branding with a crude tattoo. Murderer drew symbols of Mars and Venus on the walls with the victim's blood. Oke. Jadi pembunuhnya menggambarkan grafiti di dinding itu dengan menggunakan darahnya dia. Interesting. Oke, ritual daggernya tajam tapi tidak balance, itu maksudnya enggak semua sisinya tajam. Tidak semua sisinya simetris. Its handle is made of gold. The handle has blood stain. Jadi ketika dia menusuk itu sudah ada darahnya di pegangannya. Itu artinya orang yang terluka itu adalah orang yang menusuk. Atau mungkin dia yang memukul si Fabio hingga darahnya, nggak tahu kenapa ya. Sepertinya orang yang memukul Fabio ini juga sudah terluka kali ya. Oke. Nah, kita cek dulu dari kejauhan. Oke, mungkin awalnya bermula dari sini mungkin. Bukan, itu pakai tung. Nah, jadi ini seperti itu. Sedangkan ini, oh oke, masuk akal. Jadi setelah dipentung dia membawanya, tapi ya itu ada berkas darahnya dia. Mungkin seperti ini. Rada aneh sih. Cuci tangan, ya. Ya, ini harusnya si pelakunya. Si pelakunya mencuci tangan di sini. Oke, terus kemudian dia menaruh bajunya di sini. Yang jelas bukan si Fabio. Dan dia mengunci pintu. Dan terakhir ditusuk. Oh, enggak, dia nggak ngecekek sih, tapi dia menusuknya di sini. Gua rasa seperti ini. Validasi. Ah, benar kan?
The bottle was used as a weapon during a scuffle in the smoking lounge.
Pong.
Then, to ensure no one would interrupt, the murderer locked the door.
Interesting.
The unconscious body of the victim was moved to the altar room. Once the body was on the altar, the murderer thrust the dagger into the victim's heart. Symbols were drawn with the blood. The wardrobe was used to hide the bloodied robe from anyone's eyes. The killer washed himself and took a clean robe from the hanger before leaving.
Are you all right? You're on the floor, not moving.
I think I know what happened here.
Dikiranya dia berhalusinasi. Oke, Fabio died at the altar. Fabio was altered in nearby room. Fabio's keys remain untouched. Altar room was locked and unlocked. Kemudian altar room was locked. Oke. Jadi pembunuhnya punya kunci untuk menuju ke altar room ini. Kemudian Fabio was killed in a ritual murder. The ritual was a cover. Jadi ada dua logik teman-teman. Apakah si Fabio itu dibunuh sebagai sebuah ritual, atau ritual tersebut hanyalah sebuah kamuflase? Tapi kita cek itu. Murderer clean themselves. Oke, mari kita cek casebook. Ya, kita mesti cari tahu di mana kuncinya si pembunuh itu berada. Fabio's murder. Kita mesti tanya juga ini. Salah. Ya. Tanya ke ini.
I'm starting to put the pieces together.
Fabio was stabbed.
I see nothing gets past you, Werner. Yes, he was stabbed, but only after being knocked out in the next room and placed here. I do not yet know why.
So, who's responsible?
Well, it was one person working alone, and the murderer has now donned a robe. He or she could be hiding in plain sight. We have lost time, Werner, but your discretion may prove to be a benediction after all.
Okay, Providence murder's key.
The murderer had to have access to this room. After the crime, he used his own key to lock the door. So, who had the key to the altar room?
I'm not sure. As a special guest, I was provided one by Mr. Manchios. He should be able to tell you of any others.
Where can I find him?
Most likely in the main hall, entertaining his guests. He has a mask with golden stars. You can't miss him. But please be discreet. We don't want to risk disturbing the revelry.
Okay. Ada lagi?
I know you can untangle this mess.
Alright, mari kita keluar dulu teman-teman. Mencari key. Kurt Manchios appearance. Ya, kita mesti mencari Mr. Manchios. Dia memakai sebuah topeng ada bintangnya. Bukan. Flat earther, sympathetic. Tense and brittle. Is this the guy? Wear mask with golden stars and he is nervous. Yep, this is the guy.
Kurt Manchios, I presume. I'm Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, you must be the one Werner told me about. What a sweet voice you have. It must belong to a handsome young man. Can I call you Sherlock?
As you wish, Mr. Manchios. Mr. Vogel asked me to help you. The body in the altar room requires answers, and quickly. I suspect the murderer to still be here.
What? Lower your voice. I don't want anyone to hear us.
What about
Did
Fabio?
you know Fabio well?
People are starting to look at us, Sherlock. Change the subject. I can't believe what happened to him. To me. Such an atrocity. Think what it means for me. A wonderful evening for so many good, influential, and rich people has been ruined. I have betrayed all my promises of exotic delights.
I don't understand. Surely a murder would affect your reputation to a greater extent.
Please, isn't this why you are here? I thought you were a silent magician. Do your tricks and make it go away.
I need to find all those who had the key to the altar room. As far as I know, Mr. Vogel, Fabio, and you had access to it. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes. Also, Matista and Santos.
Santos? Who is that?
Santos Pinchetti, my major domo. In his opinion, at least.
I'd like to speak to Mr. Pinchetti and Matista. Do you have somewhere I might have a private conversation with them?
Of course, of course. Let me think. Matista is entertaining the guests somewhere, and Santos... Oh, yes. He will be busy with the servants. Or the cook. What's that noise? What's going on?
Waduh.
Freeze, filth. You're under arrest.